Oh me, oh my, what do we have here? We've got the back end of the dryer I was working on today. Took the back off that dryer and then I started testing components. So as you can see in this nice drawing, you've got the back end here. That's for the exhaust comes out of there. I gotta erase this. What a mess. What a mess. That's the exhaust. You can see there's a lot of leftover lint on the outside. And then there's a couple of thermo switches here. This is actually a low heat thermo switch, and that is the one that I replaced years and years ago. And then we have the higher heat thermo switch, which is way up here in the higher heat thermo switch hand. I can go up here. This one right up here, that's the high heat thermo switch. What do they call that? They call that the dryer thermal fuse. So it's a dryer thermal fuse. So that's another component. And then if you look in the corner here, go way down here and have a peek at that, you will see in the corner an input. Red line is the input to the that's the dryer coils are in here, the heating element. So, and the heating element kind of just goes back and forth and back and forth and comes back out. That's actually on this type of dryer easily taken apart. It's just a couple screws, you lift it and you take it out. So that's the heating element, thing of beauty. So the dryer heating element. So that's another thing you got to test. And then over here on the side, what do we have here? Right down in the corner, you have, this is the actual fuse for the dryer, right? So that's the fuse for the dryer right there. And then we've got whatever this thing is called. This is the, let me think, high limit thermostat, maybe? High limit thermostat. I think that might be it. It's near the thermal fuse. Yeah, I think it might be the high limit thermostat. Anyway, it's got a couple of cables going in here and here, and then some here and here. So the focus is going to be on testing all this stuff in this short little video. So the first thing I did with this is I put an ohm meter right in here, or you can use a continuity meter, but let's just say an ohm meter, and you attach it here and here, and then you see the 0 ohms. 0 ohms. That's 0 ohms. And that means the circuit is good. I use continuity meter between this point and this point, and it goes beep, and then the circuit is good. So you want the circuit to be, this is I'll say it's a thermal resistor, but the continuity meter would show that these are attached, right? So, and then you test the continuity of the dryer element, right? And that is right here. So you put one part of your meter on here, and the other part of your meter, let me do a different color for that part, is on here like that, and you test that. And again, 0 ohms is great, and or continuity, and it goes beep on your meter. So this is, again, it's measuring the resistance across two parts. If that is open like that, if it's open, right, then the component is bad. If this is open here, that means you have to replace the full coil on your dryer. You don't want to have to do that, but it's actually a pretty darn easy job. So let me back it up here. If this one here is open, right, again, same thing, it's open, then you have to replace this thermal fuse here. And this is the lower heat thermal fuse at the bottom. So that is replaceable as well through the parts. If the fuse itself, which is over here, is blown, again, you put the meter on the fuse right here and right here. It's two wires, and you test the resistance between those two. And if it's open, once again, bam, you get 0. You put it on. You put your meter on resistance, and you get 0 kilo-ohms. Then it's good. If it's not, then it's open. So you got a problem there. So you're looking to measure a 0 kilo-ohms or 0 ohms, and that's good there. So that's that component there. And then this component on the very bottom here, as you can see, and maybe you get a better picture of that later, but right there again, you're testing the red wire up here, and the other wire is red as well. And again, you're putting a meter on this, and the other probe of your meter is on this part here, like that. And again, you're measuring resistance across the 2 points. And if the continuity goes, if it goes beep, then you're good. Or if it's 0 ohms, you're fine. Then that's a good thing. Let me see, I screwed that up. I wanted to put another line. So if it's open like that, you're screwed. So if your continuity doesn't make any sound, that means that component is bad and needs to be replaced. And then last but not least, second last but not least, I'll say, is this little thing up here, which is the high heat. It's the high heat thermal switch right here. And again, you take these little plastic plugs and you can pull them out that way, like that. No issue there at all. And then you look at what that is doing with respect to putting your meter across that. In this case, this was a 3392519. 33925. Oh no, actually it was a 393977393. That was the part number of that thing. And I went on Amazon and I ordered a kit. And the kit had all 4 of those parts I just showed you. So that was a very good buy. I'm going to cough right now. And that has to do with dust, I think. And I'm going to look at for the other picture here, the last picture. I apologize for the coughing, but I want one take here. One take. All right, so this component here, this is the back of your dryer dial. So what you do here is you're testing this component. Hang on, let me get my little drawing tools out again. Let me get my drawing tools out. Hold on, I gotta mute something. Mute. Drawing tools. Oh my God. All right, drawing tools. There we go. Now we're back in business. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of humor there. So what you're doing is you're looking for the big fat cables here. So one fat cable is here and the other fat cable is here. So these are the heat cables going in. So you're effectively looking at the circuit and saying, okay, do I have a problem here? So what you do is on the dial side, on the other side of this, you put it on one of the little areas where it says heat. So you're basically turning the dial so that it says heat. Now, once you've done that and your dial says heat, let me erase this here. What you do is you pull these 2 cables off. And in the other situation, you're pulling the cables off as well to test these. So you pull this cable off right here, and you pull this cable off right here, and you put a meter right there, and the other part of the meter, let me just be a good boy here. You put the other part here. I could flip those covers. And again, you're measuring resistance. And in this case here, they should be a full contact. So these there's no resistor between them. It's actually a full contact between the 2. So if you touch these with your continuity meter, it's going to go B-E-E-P. Is that how you spell beep? Beep. And that means the continuity is good. It's looking at this particular circuit as one complete circuit going through from here to here. And that's what you want when the dial is set to heat. So you can try a couple of different cycles on the front of your dryer to set them to heat, and then test that. So if this is a closed circuit, you're good. When it's set to heat, you can also put it on OFF and test it again. And if it's on OFF, then it's going to be an open circuit, right? So this, you put the meter on here and it's going to be open, and the meter is going to show you that this is open. This is not a capacitor. It's just showing an open circuit. So, or I should draw it a different way because I am an engineer and I'm not doing the right things on this little funny video today. So it's like that, and then you have the switch. There we go. It's not really a switch, but there's an open circuit right there. So that means the test is done. So that means, and I had, in this case here, everything went fine. There was no issue there. So the only one I tested that was poo-poo And I'm going to see if I can find the other diagram here. Where is it? It's not these two I showed you already. And again, when you're testing these things, you really have to pull the wire out. Like you pull one of the wires out, you can pull one of the wires out and then test the other one. So I'm going to just draw this. So if I'm testing this component here, just like all the other components, I can pull both these wires out, this one here, and then put a meter on each side and test it. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. So anyway, that's good. So the guilty party on my whole day or afternoon of morning or whatever of testing was this component right here. So I pulled these out like that, pulled them out of the way, put a meter on here, and I had an open circuit here and then here, and I had an open circuit. So this did not beep with my continuity meter, and it was showing 100 or 0. It was open basically, right? So 0 ohms. Open. So it was an open circuit, and that means this little bugger needs to be changed. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it, and I'm going to show you now what that looks like. That's the component right there. That's the guilty party, and a real pain, the fact that it was a bad component, and that the actual number for this was right there. Zoom in on that number, see if I can do that. So it's 3977396. That was it there. And that is the end of my video. So that was testing all of taking the back panel off, the two back panels off, and testing this dryer and finding the guilty component. And now I'm just going to replace that component, and it is going to be done. D-O-N-N-Y. Dead. Q. There we go. So that's the component right there. So again, thanks for watching my video. I'm just going to replace that component, and that should fix the dryer. One more note here is that in this model of dryer, to replace the heating coil, all you have to do is unscrew this. There's a little latch, but you unscrew this. I think there's a screw on the other side here, but this is just a latch, and there's another one on the other side, and you rotate this upward, and it comes out. So you rotate it upward, and it comes out, and then you just unscrew one screw down here, and you pull the heating coil out. After, of course, you've disassembled this, taken this out, and taken this out. And then it's a real easy job to fix the heating coil on these. Anyway, I'm JD. Thanks for watching my video. It's not watchmaking. Shout out to a few people out there that watch my videos. You know who you are. I won't mention your names because it's probably against the policy of sharing names on YouTube. Anyway, that's my adventure. I watched a very old video on how to do this stuff. It helped me a lot. It's not difficult. Just make sure you're very safe. You unplug your dryer before you work on it, and make sure that you lean. You have to lean the dryer. It needs to be lean. It needs to be leaning against something so you can work on the back of it.